Hey you, welcome to Adulting's Ghetto. We all know adulting is truly overrated, so what better way to survive this ratchet place than coming together to share our stories and words of wisdom with one another. Join us as we discuss all things adulting from the following aspects of adulthood: finances, relationships, spirituality, and even health. This podcast is a great source to get all tips and tricks as you manage to survive adulting. After all, we already know adulting is truly ghetto. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Adulting is Ghetto. I'm super excited to be here with DJ Lewis.
Hey.
Pew, 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 pew. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so y'all know how I like to do. Before every episode, let me tell y'all a little bit of how I met them. I met him because he's a gym rat at the Fit Spot. Shout out to the Fit Spot, okay?
Shout out to Fit Spot.
And I literally met him there because he's there at like the crack of dawn every day. And I was like, how do you do this? But he's such a sweet soul and he was super nice. And then, of course, I met you again or kept seeing you around because of E100, right? And then, of course, he's very involved. We'll get into all of that. And literally, I just was like, you should come on the show. I think it'd be great to share your story.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
Happy to be here. Excited. Let's get it.
Let's go. Okay, so DJ, tell the folks a little bit about yourself. High level, we're going to get to these questions.
All right. So, high level, from the DMV.
Okay.
I'm a family man, a community man. Always been a strategic thinker, right? And just love getting to that money and helping people out, right? So, all about getting equity for people who look like us.
I like that.
And becoming that check writer and fundraiser. So,
I love that.
Whether it's via technology, venture capital, whatever we can do to build wealth as a community in a sustainable fashion, that's what I'm all about.
I love that. Okay. And like I said, I met him at the gym, but he has you're multifaceted, I believe. I think you have so many, not like you're bipolar or anything like that crazy, but wait, what's your sign again?
Aries.
Oh, if you said Gemini, I would have said something, but I'll give you that. But no, with that said, I wanted you to kind of just talk about how you balance it all, right? I think you do well from the outside, but let's check in. You obviously have your hands in a lot of things. E100, tell me about Humble Hustler. Like you just said, with your current day job, you can, of course, feel free to say it. If not, how do you balance?
Man, it's a struggle. I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to keep it above.
Yes, please.
Right. It's not easy. And I'll say that balance is a spectrum and it's fluid, right? So one day or 1 week or 1 month or 1 quarter might be like, man, I'm locked in, getting it. Whereas I couldn't do that the next quarter, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm big on setting my North Stars for myself.
Okay.
Really just writing them down, those objectives, and accepting that, I only hit 80% of them, but that 80% will be impactful.
Amen.
You mentioned some of the things I do.
Yeah.
So I'll just give context. 9 to 5, I'm in the technology space. I work for Google.
Nice.
I help run our Google Cloud practice in the Southeast. Okay. And all that means...
He mad humble. I just want y'all to know right now. He's saying it mad casual, like you're a black man in tech at Google, one of the highest firms. Let's give you your praises.
I appreciate that.
Okay, go ahead.
Very, very appreciative, privileged position. Speak to a lot of technical leaders, CTOs, right, directors of engineering, and I just help them solve problems with technology. That technology being the cloud. Yeah.
Love that.
So it's cool, keeps me sharp, but I realize it's not the end all be all. Right? We always talk about those multiple streams.
Yeah.
And for me, relationship equity is huge.
Okay.
With
Tell us a little bit.
Emerging 100, you mentioned, right? So with the young auxiliary of the 100 Black men.
Yeah.
When I moved to Atlanta back in 2013 for school, I saw them just moving and shaking and really making decisions, right? And that's the type of person I am. I want to be at those tables making the big decisions.
Yeah.
So been in the org for about 2 years.
Okay.
We mentor the youth. We give scholarship funds. We give about $50,000 a year. So we got a big gala coming up, actually in May. Plug.
I'll be there.
Right. But that org has done more for me than I can even really express.
Wow.
And it's not only just bumping heads with some of the movers and shakers just in Atlanta, especially Black men.
Yeah.
But it's the thought process of just talking to them, just really just looking out for one another.
Yeah, a brotherhood, right?
Right. So I've always been that fraternal type guy, seeking those types of organizations where, people don't have a secret hidden agenda.
Yeah, it's genuine.
We can all be kings and queens or on our own chessboards and still help one another out.
I love that.
So whether it's a partner at a law firm or somebody who owns their own technical firm, right? Everybody is humble enough and real enough to say, hey, I do really well at this. Can you help me with that? Or did you think about this?
I like that.
So emerging has been dope.
And then tell us the other fraternal organization that you're part of.
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Yeah.
Fraternity Incorporated. I definitely shout out to the A.
Yeah.
Crossed in fall 14. So I've been in Alpha a little second now.
Okay. A little old now.
Yeah, my knees
I feel it.
I'm actually about to be chapter advisor for Georgia Tech.
Oh, nice.
So that's where I crossed. Yeah, that's one of my other hats.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Again, multiple hats. We love to see it.
But that fraternal space where you can be vulnerable, be trusting, it's opened so many doors for me.
I bet.
So I studied nuclear engineering in school.
Wow.
Wouldn't recommend.
Oh, right.
And I realized I didn't want to be working in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Power plant.
That's true.
Or on a submarine with a bunch of dudes. It's just not my thing. And one of my fraternity brothers actually helped me get the opportunity at my first firm, IBM.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, you're at IBM. Dope. IBM. Yeah.
So,
good spot.
Yeah. Alpha's cool. Google's cool. Emerging. National Society of Black Engineers. Do a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Okay. Yeah. I love this. And then one more I have written. I did some research, y'all. Humble Hustler.
Yeah.
Because that's where I saw you then the mentorship light more, at least from your Instagram.
Yeah. Nah, HH has been close to my heart. Shout out my bro, Zoe.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
So Zoe started Humble Hustler back in 2016, 2017.
Okay.
But I came on board to build out the educational mentorship portion.
Love it.
So I built out that curriculum for me. He literally just hit me up like, can you do this? I said, I don't know. We're going to try.
And you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we really just wanted to cut the fluff in terms of there's all these educational resources, YouTube, Coursera, but how do you really build a business from A to B all the way to Z, right? Why is an LLC important? We talk to our young boys about financial management, legal ramifications, how to scale, how to market, right? So all the things we wish we had at their age of 16, whatever, we just wanted to bring that in a palatable, easy to consume format. So
I love that.
Yeah, it's been dope. Mentorship and sponsorship, I'm really big on.
Yeah.
That's something that has amplified my life and given me joy, purpose, and fulfillment.
I love that. Speaking of joy, purpose, and fulfillment.
Oh, man. We getting to it.
Yes, we are. I think it's beautiful, as you said, as a Black man, one, you identify those things, right? And you're on the journey to doing that. I think that keeps you focused, right?
Sure.
I feel like if you didn't have those things, it'd be hard to, I don't know, have the day-to-day grind of waking up, the, fulfillment, Yep. With that said, what advice would you give to those seeking to become a successful, I feel like you're a social entrepreneur. Like there's a lot of hats with this. So anybody that wants to do anything, what you just said, what advice would you give? Because that's a lot. And I want to make sure we don't gloss over like it's easy. I think you do it very well. You execute very well in every arena I've seen you in. So I think that's huge.
Yeah. Advice I would start with is start with self.
Okay.
Right? You have to do the internal work.
Okay.
And people can do that in different ways, right? It can be reading, gain that inspiration. I have a plethora of books. I'm an avid reader as well.
I bet.
Keep my mind sharp. It can be personality tests, so 16personalities.com, right? Where you're getting language and perspective on
who you are, right?
Who you are, what makes you you, right?
Yeah, that is important.
All right, you mentioned signs earlier. I'm not too big into the astrology, but that gives us some description. Something, that gives us something to just chop it up about and say, this is me. This is who I am. Once you know who you are, you can really start to formulate your future state and your strategic plan.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us try to rush into things.
For sure.
And we're just like, well, I go to college because I'm supposed to.
Right.
Or, I started this business because I'm good at it. Somebody told me to.
Right.
And that's all great. Sometimes you have to just act. But the people some of my mentors who are sustainably successful really have built an infrastructure and a plan for themselves and said, hey, in the next year, 3, 5 years, this is what I'm going to be doing. And because of that, fortunately, I keep myself grounded with that North Star.
Okay, yeah.
That plan can change. That's cool. It's always something's going to come into the plan.
True.
I might go to B school or, I might get a new job, whatever. Right. But as long as you have that North Star, you're creating momentum for yourself. So people see me get these accolades and achievements, and they're like, how do you do it all?
Right.
I've been building this out for years,
really?
If I'm being real.
Yeah.
So I'm appreciative, but I'm already working on the next year.
3 to 5 years, yeah.
Exactly.
I love that.
This is the stuff that
you've been working on prior 3 to 5 years.
So it's really
smart.
Once you get the plan, you got to reverse engineer what do my weekly and daily and hourly tasks really look like.
Love that.
So I put in what I call daily deposits. That's my theme for this quarter.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, for example, health, right?
Yeah.
I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Probably, 4 or 5 times a week.
Yes.
Because I'm just trying to be a dilf. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know that's right. Okay.
That's really the ambition there. But I love traveling.
Yeah.
I want to be able to climb the mountain and not huff and puff.
I feel that.
With that being said, I know that sometimes I'm just tired in the morning.
I'll be tired. I'll be looking at you and you out here I'm like, this is too much.
Right.
Like, I stopped seeing you because I stopped coming at 6 a.m. Okay. But go off.
Yeah. So knowing myself, doing that internal work, I said, okay, I need a trainer.
Yeah.
Fortunately, owner of the Fit Spot, one of my good friends, Bruce.
Yes.
Shout out to Bruce.
Yes. Y'all should check out the gym. Yes, for sure.
Dope gym. So I pay him monthly. It helps me keep myself accountable.
Oh, for sure. You're paying for it. Yeah.
Exactly. Because one thing I'm not going to do is waste that money.
Okay. Period.
So that's just one example of daily deposits.
I like that.
Where I like to create infrastructure and systems so that I can automate things.
Yeah.
So whether that's savings,
whether
that's going to the gym,
yeah,
whether that's being in the organization and doing my part, making sure, and I'm getting better over time, this is my bandwidth and this is what I can handle.
Right. And that can evolve and change over quarters, like you said.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, yeah, take a sip. But like you said a lot. I'm sorry, I got mad questions. I love this.
This is good.
Okay, good. Okay, so with that said, with all that you are doing professionally, right? Like I said, a lot. So proud. How does one take time to find love and date in Atlanta?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Tell us a little, something.
The A is a wild place.
You think? That's part of the reason why this show is called Adulting's Ghetto. It's because I'm in Atlanta. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I have a lot of folks come in town, visit, and they're like, D, y'all have some beautiful women and some of my women friends, some beautiful men in Atlanta. Some good options.
Yeah.
Right? But for me, I always tell people I'm a Trader Joe's guy.
Okay.
What that means?
Yeah, what does that mean? I'm like, okay.
You've never been to Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's doesn't have sales prices. They don't do like advertisements. It's all built in there.
Okay.
And then if you're going to look for ground turkey, they have 2 or 3 options.
Okay.
Versus like a Kroger, Publix, they might have 5 different brands.
Okay.
All that to say, I like to keep my pool small.
Okay, got it.
I try to consolidate the noise that is Atlanta.
Yeah.
So bringing it back to dating.
Got it.
So first, I really doing that internal work.
Right.
I would go for, on paper, those heavy hitter, ambitious, Harvard MBA, Spelman Knight, type women, which were great. And I love those women.
Yeah.
Right. I dated seriously those type of women, and it didn't work out for me. We just would butt heads and conflict. Whether it was, okay, I have an event that night, you have an event that night.
Oh, how do you support each other?
How do you support one another? You want to go to both.
Right, of course.
But they might be at the same time.
Yeah, that's real.
So I changed that strategy, just doing internal work on me and saying, okay, I'm going to just get fine then. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm not getting taller. I can't grow the beard. So let me get some tattoos. Let me, do some push-ups. Let me get this bread up. And then something is bound to happen.
Yes, that's a good formula. All right, shout out to that. That's a good formula. I like that.
Fortunately, it's been working.
Yes.
And then the man or woman you're looking for will come.
Yes, right? I love that.
So I always also go back to the analogy of a Chinese finger trap game, where if you try to pull initially, your fingers aren't going to come loose.
Yeah.
If you go in first, then you can release.
That's really, y'all, he be reading y'all shit. I love it. I love it. No, that's real. Okay. I love that you said that. And real quick, let's bounce back. When you said the internal work, would you even throw in there, dare I say, therapy?
Oh, yeah.
Black man going to therapy? What is that? We love to see it and hear it. Have you done that?
I have. So fortunately, Google provides us with...
yeah, I heard they're really good with mental health.
Yeah, so 25 free sessions per year.
Wow.
I started during the pandemic.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
Yeah. As we should. But
yes.
It was dope for me because you have an unbiased perspective.
Oh, yeah. To get in your head.
To get in my head.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I actually enjoy it a lot. So.
Yeah. So I actually am seeking a new therapist.
Oh, nice. Okay.
At the moment. But when I was actively going, we could identify some of my triggers.
Yeah.
And really, I was asking her, Black woman.
Oh, I was about to ask that. What specific? Yeah.
I was trying to be intentional about that.
Yeah. I like that.
Black women.
Yeah.
So I feel like y'all see me for real.
Yeah.
Read me fulfilled as well.
Respectfully, professionally, but yes.
So I wanted to be able to, I always want to be able to hold myself accountable.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know I'm flawed, imperfect.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to continue to make mistakes.
Right.
And my relationships in the past didn't work for some reason because of me.
Oh, okay.
I have a percentage in that.
Yeah.
Right?
Accountability. We love to see. Is that self-awareness?
A little bit.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay.
A little bit.
That's beautiful.
So I just wanted to ensure I didn't want to make the same mistakes.
Right, because that would be the definition of insanity. Exactly. Right? Yeah.
And after dating and being with a few folks, seriously, we know that you bring out different sides of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
I've been in that relationship where I'm not really a yeller, but then I've yelled, right? Where you look back and it's like, dang, that was out of my character.
Right, yeah.
I don't ever want to feel like that.
And get to that point.
That's
real.
So all of that comes into, okay, what is the recipe? What is the partner that I'm looking for, that I'm seeking? And it helped me. It's still not perfect.
Right.
Fortunately, recently found somebody, made it official.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago.
Yes.
But we've been taking our time, chatting the past few months. And
as you should.
It's been working well, yeah.
That's good. I'm so proud of you. Honestly, I mean, I think it's beautiful to see people transfer over time. You know what I mean? Like, there's a meme about that. It was like, I love seeing a woman love properly after some like shitty shit, but also a Black man as well. Of course, you don't see those memes, but like just in general, if that's what you're looking for and you find it, it's such a beautiful thing. I'm also a lover girl, as you guys know. So like, love. Anyway, especially if y'all cute, it's just like, oh my God, like it's so cute. But congratulations. I think another thing you said I wanted to touch back on too was when you said, learning your personality and what that is, like what you used to look towards. And you, there's no shade of those types of women, of course, because we don't, shade nobody out here. But like the importance of finding people that you actually really like in real life that actually work with your lifestyle. Because I think there's a big difference between attractiveness. Like, you're attracted to someone, that's great. But like, do you actually like the person you're dating?
Exactly.
You know? If you want to share or talk about a little bit more on that. And your newfound, not, you don't have to talk about her in that regard, but like what the traits are different now that you needed to be in a successful relationship now.
So now she is on paper still very dope.
Yeah, I'm sure. No,
but her primary ambition is building a family, being a partner, being a wife.
Right.
Right.
Amen.
And she has a corporate gig, great corporate gig and all that, but she told me straight up very early on, I'm not trying to work.
When I first heard that.
Right.
I'm trying to enter the soft era for life. Okay. I'm exhausted. Don't call me strong. Go ahead.
So,
no, I'm kidding.
You know, me as somebody who didn't go for that.
Yeah.
I'm like, so who gonna pay the bills? I'm thinking like, you know, I'm all about equity and all that good stuff.
Like we together, right? Yeah. Okay. No, that's real.
But as I started to think about it and we started to just move through it and thinking about the amount of income I'm making right now and what
and
my
the
potential
multiple streams
is,
too, yeah.
I'm like, that's fine.
Amen.
Why we worry about bread? I
just make more bread.
Let's just take a moment. Y'all, if y'all are watching this, please understand that is the type of energy that I'm expecting from all year. No, I'm so serious. Yeah. I've been very clear, like, y'all been watching for a while, you know, I made a vow to myself through therapy as well to not date. And it's not to be superficial. Y'all can call it shout. I really don't give a fuck. But like, really, the boundary is, I was so big on like personality and like, oh, you know, love can't pay the bills. Let's just be honest, okay? And there's a lot of stuff that come with it. But the lifestyle I would like to have, which just like she said, a desire, it requires someone to me making more than me, at least what I'm making, and then more, and then some. So with that said, I do not date anyone that's lower than my tax bracket or salary range. And that's just what it is.
And that's fine.
And it's been great ever since.
I was about to say. Intentionality.
Yes. But go ahead.
Yeah, but
I love that.
That and being able to effectively communicate. I feel like communication, we throw that out as a buzzword. It's key.
Yeah.
But it's a buzzword, right?
Yeah,
what does that really mean?
Right.
To me, it is conflict resolution skills.
Yeah.
Right?
Because, that's important.
Yeah. Conflict's going to come.
Yeah.
We're with two different people.
Trying to mesh your lives together.
Yeah. So, but do we attack the problem or are we attacking each other?
That's so real. Come on now. Healed me alert. We love that. No, so serious. Like, we've had other people on the show and they all are great. But like, it's very key to talk about that because I think that's a big topic with women and dating in Atlanta. So I agree. Like, knowing that we're a team, you know, when you guys make it that official, we're attacking the problem together. Like, you know what I'm saying? We actually like each other. But the problem we don't like, you know?
Exactly.
So I love that. That is so good. Yes, I'm glad you said that.
So it was important for me to express that early on.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I'm cool. Just let's not attack one another's character and values. If we let's establish, okay, you care about God, family, etc. Cool. We know that if something pops up, DJ is not intentionally trying to hurt me. Right.
You have that trust, that foundation. It's super important.
That's huge because it makes the disagreements, we can just talk through it.
Yes,
our blood doesn't have to boil, and we don't have to say some things that we really don't mean just out of anger.
I love that. This reminds me of, I really am big on advice from older people. Like, a lot of my friends are older that I listen to in that regard. No shade to my friends, but you know, I just feel like you can learn from older people that live life longer than you.
Yeah.
And my favorite couple is my pastors. And they were talking to me about their marriage. They've been married for like 25 years plus. And my parents also was married for 30 years this year. And so I come from a married household. So I'm very big on that and family morals, great stuff. But one of the key things they said was like what you just said, understanding the built trust and foundation that's needed. That's super imperative in the beginning stage, which I think you're doing, which is amazing. So I'm wishing so much luck for you guys. But I think a lot of people don't do that because then when something arises, which it will, like you said, you're now fighting the problem, but also like, are you trying to like disrespect me too? And it's like, we're partners. You know, when we made that commitment, you know, of course, like I said, they're married, but there's levels to it. There's a commitment of when you're dating, you know, that you have respect for each other. So I think that's super important. If you want, you can, but if not, it's okay. Sharing like a little advice of how folks did that, because I feel like in this dating era, a lot of people are playing the I don't want to be too vulnerable, or you know, I who could care less the most. It's like, huh? Like, how are we supposed to reach the goal?
Yeah. That's a great point. And I see something I talked with her about before.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's needed.
Right. And it's a dance, right?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
So accepting that first and foremost,
yeah,
and knowing that it's not black and white, but at the same time, creating a culture and a habit of being able to share and be vulnerable, be safe with one another. Yeah. And you do that, in my opinion, by setting expectations. And that could be weekly, monthly, yearly, right? It can be a different time period. Right. We have different phases in life. But saying, hey, this is my expectation. You know, weekly date night.
Yeah.
She knows I'm busy.
Yeah. Right. That's true. Yeah.
I sent her calendar invites for dates.
I love that. That's like, beautiful. That works.
But that's how my calendar is.
Yeah.
And she accepts that. So it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
And if that expectation is not met, that's when
you can have a conversation about it, right?
Exactly. And you pivot.
Yeah.
And you make those joint expectations together. And once those expectations continuously are met, right? That's when that trust is organically built.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh no, I know DJ.
Right. Because of
really
the pattern.
Does like, right, weekly date night. He's a man of his word.
Yes.
It's just something happened, or he got a new job, or okay, we need to course correct.
Yes. I love that you said it. Oh my God. So I just listened because I listened to other podcasts too, of course, right? And I was listening to Dear Future Wifey podcast. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I haven't heard it.
It's good. Yeah. If you like podcasts, that's another great one. I'll shout y'all out on this one. But pretty much this guy, he is on a quest finding his wife, and like he has a beautiful way of doing it, I think. And he has amazing artists. Celebrities come on, all that great stuff. And they share their ways. And one of the things they did recently was what you just said. A man of like DJ. She knows that you are a man of your word, right? And that's really all that I think women we're not complex. I think a lot of guys say that, but we're really not. We really ask y'all the bare minimum. Like, if you're gonna say something, do it. If not, shut the hell up. I'm sorry. Like, you know, and I've had this conversation with several people before, respectfully and maybe disrespectfully, but it's just like I feel like you're wasting time when you do that. You know, when you say something that it doesn't happen. If it's not a real liable excuse. And one thing I wanted to shout out was the Dear Future podcast. This woman was like, women thrive in clarity. We thrive in, hey, where are we going? I can trust my partner driving. I could be passenger princess all I want when I know that the man is the man and he definitely does the pattern. Of course, there's totally room for you to mess up. It's okay. No one's perfect. But if you communicate it like, oh, say that weekly date night, something came up and you totally forgot. Okay, I'm sure you guys can discuss it and make it up. You know what I mean? Versus like, well, you've done this several times, 3 weeks in a row. And at this point, I don't know, you know?
Exactly.
And that's where a lot of confusion comes. And again, I think women, we really do just thrive in communication, clarity, and clear vision.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the recipe. Okay. Yeah, and you're doing it. No, I'm serious. And I'm sure it's thriving. You know what I mean? Like, look, when you guys put in the word and say something, the woman will pour it out, I'm sure, okay? Because we love when our man is manning, okay? My man. So, okay. Sorry, was that all you had to say about that? I know I cut you off.
That was good.
Okay. So those are gems, y'all, okay? If you really want to date someone of actual value, and I hate to say that because everyone's valuable in their own way, but for real, like, you're a busy man. Like, you ain't got time to play, and I'm sure she's a busy woman. And like, look, we ain't got time. If this is what you want, let's actually put priority to it, you know?
That's it. Every step of the way.
Love it.
Dating, engaged, and married.
Right, because every part is like, even when you're married, you should still be dating. Like, it's so huge.
That's one thing we didn't touch on.
Oh, yeah, talk.
Just being single in Atlanta. That's
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, let's...
Because I've been in the streets. Don't get me wrong.
DJ, you been in the streets?
I've been in the
I be seeing you out there, too. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm kind of okay. Go ahead.
But I think it's important to talk about being single in Atlanta?
Yeah, go. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it still stems from intentionality.
Yes.
But it's okay if you just want to sleep around, as long as you're safe. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not spreading anything.
Amen.
And you're clear. Going back to that clarity.
That's true.
Even if you're friends with benefits, whatever.
Very clear what.
And that will change.
Yeah.
Because sometimes feelings will get
felt. Yeah.
Right. You're doing some things right.
Okay.
With the late night rendezvous.
I get used to this, okay?
People have to accept that, hey, if we have an established expectation or norm, and we're saying this is our line, this is our boundary, we're not going further, we have to accept that. So I think sometimes people get hurt because they're like, well, I didn't know I would like you like this.
Right.
Or, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where I've seen situations get really sticky.
Yes.
So for me, I knew I had, in order to leave that life, I really needed to start on the same page with somebody, at least long-term vision.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend now, she's like, I want to be married. Like,
period.
That's the vision. So I just wanted to speak on that for a second. It's still okay to be single.
Yeah.
And that has gotten me a lot of clarity, what I like and don't like.
Yeah.
But at some point, I don't want to be that 34, 35-year-old on every trip and every move. And it's just like,
dog.
It's the same thing.
Say that again, because there's a lot of
yeah.
I know a few of them. I'll be like, that's where y'all trending at. That's where it's looking like, you know. And I'm gonna pray for y'all from a distance.
That's not my vision. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Some of them are good boys, but
look, you know what I'm talking about.
It's not for me.
I feel that, and I like that. I think there's a maturity decision that comes with that. Another podcast, Nice and Neat, they talk about that. It was like, you know, there's a point where you have to make a decision as a man, like, what do you really want in life? And it's okay if it changes, it ebbs and flows. You know, you're young, but like at this point, you're like, if I want to be a DILF by this age, you gotta do certain things. You know, if you want it a certain way, you know what I'm saying? But you can have a kid tomorrow if you want it. But that's not the ideal lifestyle. You gotta put in the work.
We get to choose.
Yeah.
Making sure that we are the owners of our own lives.
Yeah.
Take accountability for our own lives.
Exactly. Love that. Oh, this is so beautiful. I hope this reaches to every Black man. Okay. That's why I wanted you on here, because I feel like, you know, you can hear all the time, I'm sure this podcast with women saying, And sometimes I think some men have some triggers and healings they need to do for themselves in therapy of what Black women saying and hearing things, and it may come off hurtful or brash. Not everyone is nice, so I will say that. But like hearing from an actual man that, you know, has been in the phases of the singleness, now you're in a successful, healthy relationship, and wherever that goes, I think that's a beautiful thing. It's like, oh, it's possible for me too, you know? Okay, so thank you for that. What are some tips? Okay, you kind of already said this, but if you have any more, you can add to this. What are some tips you would share for men dating at ATL, looking for the one, or trying to find themselves dating, or finding themselves, dating casually? I think you really hit a big one about intentionality and just being honest.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Doing that internal work first and being clear with yourself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we have to go home with ourselves. Right?
That's real. That's deep.
I look back over the months, years, and like, am I proud of? That's one of the reasons I do everything that I do, and try to keep that up, because I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Right? What have I built in terms of genuine relationships? So I would think about that in terms of this isn't college anymore.
No.
This isn't high school where we're forced to do something.
Right.
Go to school, whatever. We literally get to map out each one of our days.
Which is so ghetto in itself. I'm tired of making decisions. My mom be like, what you gonna do now? I don't know. I'm just gonna ask you that.
I don't know.
What do I do, Mom? Like, yeah, I'm exhausted. Jeez, but go ahead.
That's exactly it. So the more clarity we have with ourselves, the more clarity we'll have with somebody else.
Yes.
Whether we're just trying to hook up or really seriously trying to date to marry.
I feel that.
But that's it. Like that intentionality, writing that down and sticking to it.
Writing it down.
Being authentic, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, because you're true to yourself. That's something I learned in therapy. You know, when you think about boundaries, or the other B word that people don't like to talk about, you know, when you think about you're setting intentionality, I've had to make some tough decision of like, damn, I really like a guy, but like it's not working because of like boundaries that I've set. And I always am like, oh, this hurts in the moment. But I'm doing my inner self or inner child, future self, a really great deed. Because now I don't have to deal with whatever, because I realized it wasn't going to get better, in that regard, if you keep hitting boundaries, you know what I mean? So those tough decisions that we talked about, but like writing it down is so big, because I think sometimes when, especially me, I'm a serial dater, or I would say that. So like date multiple people. I love getting to know people, and I just take my time in certain ways of like getting to know you as a friend first, or depending on what setting we set in, because obviously, we grown, But with that said, I've learned that every person's like a different puzzle piece in my head. That's how I feel. So yeah, so it's like we may not fit, and that's okay, but we're gonna find out, right? And I'm gonna make sure I'm true to myself with how my shape comes with this, which is with the boundaries I set, or like the non-negotiables I have, And if they're not ticking, then we know now you're not the piece for me. You know what I mean? And that's okay, And then you enjoy whatever that is for whatever time it is, if you're intentional. So
I think you bring up a great point where we can get value out of any and all situations.
Oh yeah.
Even if it doesn't line up exactly how we intended to, which 9 times out of 10 it really won't. We might get 80%, but
annoyed.
Right. But we can still view the glass half full.
Yes.
And saying, you know what? I learned this is what I don't like.
Right.
I learned, okay, maybe I do come across like this.
Right.
So
there's so much self-awareness that comes with dating too. If you are open to it. Because that's what I literally date, because I learned you, but I'm also learning about me. Like, I don't like how you do these things. Or I've learned I cannot stand a nigga that snores. I'm sorry. I thought, like, my God, I'm praying now. Because I either gotta get like, and I really like some guys, but like, I swear to God.
That grinds your gears.
Yes, I really enjoy my sleep. And like, okay, I don't want to say too much, You never know people will listen. But I remember one time I was dating a guy, and he honestly, I appreciated him that he cared about my sleep as much as I cared about it. And he would let me go to sleep first. Right. And then he was like, sleep probably on the couch and then come in later. And I was like, this is not sustainable for long term. Let's just be broke. I want you in my bed, or our bed, excuse me. But this was so sweet. And now I realize that I'm going to get earplugs if the next guy is my husband snoring, or you're getting that surgery. I'm sorry. So you got to do something, because I can't. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's huge. Well, my lady now, she likes to go to sleep with the TV on.
Oh, that's huge. Oh my God.
That.
Me too.
I need a pitch black.
Yes, like silence.
But
yes.
I say, you know what? We talked about it. Compromise. I put on that 30-minute sleep timer.
Yup.
For the TV. So
her knockout.
Goes off.
Yep.
Right. She go out first.
Now you sleep. Yeah.
Exactly.
I totally feel that.
So it's like something that might have festered in a past relationship. It's like a microaggression.
Right.
We got it out the way.
I love that.
It's not even a problem no
It's not. And it's like compromise. I think that's so huge. That's another thing. Obviously, you're dating right now, but marriage is all about compromise, or just relationships, really. Yeah. And when you make that vow and commitment, I think it's super important to talk about. I think our generation is quite selfish. I will say that. In a lot of things, we want, I want it this way or that way. Or no way, excuse me, my way or the highway. What is the word?
My way or the highway.
Thank you. And like, I'm like, okay, cool. But like, there's times where you might have to compromise, and knowing when to compromise is super important.
Right.
Because I think sometimes you can be presented with opportunities, and you may miss a great opportunity because you may have been a little too stubborn for something, versus maybe like, this can come around if I took my time, patience,
Yeah.
I've learned that, again, with my parents' relationship. They taught me so much. 30 years, it ain't all bliss, but they taught me the good, bad, and ugly. And I really think, I've said this before in another episode, I'm trying to think how I said it, but all I know is I always attribute my parents' relationship. I love them deep. But they taught me, like, my dad is an amazing father. But that's a different title than being my mom's husband, right? He's not my husband. It's a whole nother role. These are titles that we gain. One day you're going to be a father, the DILF that you want to be. You know what I'm saying? One day you're going to be a husband, okay? I'm going to be a MILF. I feel it, okay? And like, all those titles, we're going to have different requirements, expectations that we're going to try to like do. And we're going to fall short in different ways, but like just realizing like these are titles we're putting on hats, as you would say. and just giving yourself grace through it all. I think it's super important.
Super important. Another thing I mentioned is compromise, I feel like has a negative connotation.
Yes.
Where it feels like we're giving up something.
Yes.
But it's not. It's life. It's reality.
Yeah, you do it all the time if you think about it.
You can gain things, right? A lot of the times when dating, I feel like we point out the flaws or the red flags.
Of course.
So I think it's important to call out the green flags.
Yes.
Like, you know what? He or she does snore. She does like the TV on. But she also is cooking dinner.
Yeah.
Or, you know, he's taking out the trash. You know, it's like,
come here, snugglebug. I'll take a little snore.
Put it all into the equation and say, hey, is this how I really want to live?
Yeah.
And we get to choose.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree. And again, this is no shade to anybody that snores, obviously, or sleeps the TV.
I snore a little bit sometimes, I think. When I get a little hyped up.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, that's when I noticed. I was like, I've never noticed before until now. I was like, why is this happening? And I noticed, like I said, I'm not going to go shady. It's just like health is very important. Sometimes you're too heavy. Yeah. You know, you can't breathe. That's a sign of can't breathing. Yeah. So that's also another thing. I feel like if I'm requiring myself to go to the gym, baby, you need to be in the gym too. Yeah. So that's a whole nother thing. Like I said, reset. We are good. Everything's fine. But you definitely have to like know what you are looking for. You know, right. If you live a certain lifestyle, I would want to match, like be equally yoked. The scripture would say.
Right. And that's huge. my lady now, she's not a gym fan. Okay. You know what I mean? But
you a gym rat.
Right.
It's a whole different.
I was
okay.
like,
there's a levels to this. Okay.
we have had several conversations of, hey, these are the expectations.
Right.
So I just want you to be healthy.
Right.
And
because you love her.
Right.
You know.
If I'm flying you out to Mount Kilimanjaro, I want to be able to climb it.
Yeah.
So.
Or I'll see you from the bottom. No,
right. But she really, I feel like that helped her that I wasn't forcing her to go to the gym or whatever.
Right.
And now she willingly, you know, works out.
Nice.
Some Pilates, whatever.
Ow, Pilates princess.
Because she sees me committed every morning.
Right.
She's like, I can't be the big girl in the relationship.
Oh, hell no. We got to be cute together. This is a competitive thing. You feel me? And y'all are. So this is great. Yes, of course, of course. Like I said, I be hyped when people are even cuter. It's so cute. I'm like, but yes, no, I think that's beautiful you said that. And I think another thing is, well, let's talk about submission. We didn't talk about that. Like we were talking about compromise is a negative connotation that comes with that. But I think submission too. And now, again, you share how much you want to share or not. But I do believe that that's also another term, buzzword, that brings a lot of negative connotation. And I will just say this, let me start with, I think submission, especially in our generation, is thrown out of proportion. And also depends on how you're talking about it. I talk about it biblically, you know, standing first. So, you know, I think of like when you're married, like not girlfriend, boyfriend, or we shacking up. Like these are really big, different titles of commitment, right? Someone marrying you is a difference than, oh, I'm just living with this nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's a level of submission that may not happen with that. You know, like it's the authority of my household in front of God. So with that said, I would want to get your opinion on that and that whole thing.
That's a great point. And it's something actually my girl and I, we've talked about.
I bet.
Right. Because I'm all, you know, pro woman and pro equity. And she is too.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's all about the context. So
yeah.
She is, and her family are very religious and biblically Christian.
Okay.
Grounded.
Mm-hmm.
I am a God-fearing man.
Yeah.
However, I didn't go to church regularly, read the word regularly. So that's another thing I actually greatly value about her. She brought me back in.
Amen.
Where now I go to church with her family every Sunday. You know, that's the expectation. Read
Praise
the word. We praying together.
Hey.
And more context, my little brother, he actually wants to be a pastor. So
oh, wow.
He just got to seminary.
Oh, wow. Amen.
So I've always battled because I've been the rebellious son growing up and being forced to go to church.
And there's a difference.
It's a difference.
Yes. I agree.
I just didn't like that.
I
never liked to be forced to do anything.
Right. Most people don't. Right.
So I'm like,
yeah.
I was that rebellious kid. It's like, all right, I'm not going to take a shower. I'm going to wear a hoodie in the summer. Like,
okay.
My father and I called it, we were playing chess, but really I was just trying to say, F you.
Okay.
You know, I'm not doing what you want me to do.
Right.
All that context to say, talked about submission.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, we equal, we partners. And she's like, it's different from a biblical sense.
Yes.
Even dating. So now I view submission as serving one another.
Yes. There we.
You feel me? You feel me?
Y'all gonna make it. I don't care whatever y'all do. Y'all finna make it. And I'm praying for y'all.
But that really opened up my eyes, and it's like, okay,
it is a different.
We want the same thing.
Yeah.
It's partnership where, okay, you have your role, I have my role.
Yeah.
It can be me. It doesn't have to be straight
the
up.
traditional or whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. It's just, we know these things have to get done.
Yes.
Somebody's got to clean. Somebody's got to cook.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to...
And they ebb and flow depending on the day of the week, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So once I got that down pat in terms of a serving mindset, I'm like, oh.
I can serve you any day.
Exactly. Massage.
Yeah.
Trash, whatever. It's not a task.
Exactly.
And I don't feel higher than you.
Yes.
Or greater than you. It's like we can make decisions together.
Beautiful.
We can serve one another.
So I love
that's
that.
That's how I feel about submission now.
That is so beautiful because a lot of people don't get that part. Like they see especially with the noise with podcasts, like I said, it's a very big buzzword. They're like, oh, you need to serve me, cook, clean. Like, you gotta cook and clean it. Oh, I should have read that. Like, yes, just do that. But also, like, there's levels to it, right? And I think it's so beautiful you said that it's serving because my faith leaders, they told me that. And there's another faith leader I used to follow, and I loved how they broke it down. They were like, biblically, if you think about, and this might get graphic, but like, if you think about God, the husband, the wife, and kids, you behead all of them, sorry. But you put the God, like as the husband, as the head of the household, he puts on the head of God, where he's serving him as the leader, da-da-da. You can check all the facts with biblical scriptures. I ain't got all that right now.
Right.
But then the husband, the woman puts on the house head of the husband because she's following and serving and submitting from that regard. Thoughts, process, stuff like that. Not saying that he's better, but like whatever she's saying, it's because they've talked about, like you said, that serving, they're equal. Right. And if it's aligned with God because he's making that ultimate decision because he's been under that head of God, you guys are making decisions together that make sense with God. And then, of course, the mom head will go on the kids because we're just nurturing and mature. And y'all probably going to mess it up anyway. So you guys, I'm kidding, that's not what she said. But you know what I mean? So, like, stuff like that, I agree. Like, it's about serving one another. And they said another thing that was huge was when you're married, it's a daily submission is a daily dying of oneself's needs for each other. And when you are doing that, if you are committed to, like, dying your self needs for your woman and she's doing the same thing, your needs will get met.
That's it.
It literally will get met. Every time. Exceed it. Really. Okay? Because they're selflessly thinking, well, I know that my DJ doesn't, whatever. Yep. And that goes, like you just said, from physical, emotional, everything. Exactly. And I think that's the beauty of it. And that comes with self-awareness, vulnerability, and trust that I think we don't have a lot or talk about in our community. I mean, generation, a lot when it comes to dating. Because it's always like, well, I'm doing this, but if you mess up, I got this in the back. You know what I mean?
Contingency plan.
Yes, that's what it is.
We don't like to get hurt.
No one does.
No one does. But we have to take that risk.
Yeah.
At some point, there's different stages of risk.
Exactly.
And you have to take that leap. If you truly want unconditional trust, vulnerable love, which I think we all want in some type of way. It's just hard and maybe we haven't seen it. And that's another thing. Sometimes you don't see it. I noticed in dating, I remember a partner I had when we had like a disagreement, because I don't even argue I don't like going to bed mad, none of that crap. So it was an argument and the way he handled it was terrible. Like no accountability, not even apology. It was ridiculous. But with that said, I was like still in my head trying to work things out. And I realized it came after therapy because I'm from a 2-parent household that is married, whereas he's not. Single mother, father's not even a picture. So an argument to him is like, oh, it's done. We wrap. Whereas me is like, okay, we just had a disagreement. Let's go again tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? Because we're married. Like, we have no choice. But again, I had to realize we're not married. You know what I'm saying? It's the commitment. And I had to resolve, like, yeah, actually, you know what? I do have a choice. And actually, I do not like this behavior. Right. So I'm going to go. But you're cool. You know what I mean? And I had to learn that. And, like, our upbringing plays such a huge part in that. Yeah.
You know? And I think, not to judge people, but I do tend to go a little bit more relate with someone that's a 2-parent household in a way, because it doesn't mean that the marriage was amazing either. Some people get married and it just is abusive. Miserable. So it's levels.
It is. It's multifaceted.
But for sure.
And I think you brought up a great point. levels of commitment.
Yeah.
Just getting to, I'm a sales guy, so
yeah.
we're always talking to folks trying to sell something. But you want to be and earn that trusted advisor title where you're coming to one another as a sounding board and say, you know what, I know DJ has my best interest at heart. He's trying to sell something, but I'm big with my clients too. Like, hey, if you don't need this, don't do it. This is better.
Right.
And that's something that's, I think, goes a long way.
I feel that. I love that you said that. Wow, this has been great.
It's pretty good.
This is a great podcast. If I don't say about myself, you know. Okay, so before we wrap it up, did we get these questions? Hold on. Oh, actually, we need to ask this question. I'm sorry, before. Okay. How do you make effort? I'm sure you already answered this at this point, so just reiterate. Right. But how do you make efforts to build professionally, right? Like you are, in all aspects of your life, 9 to 5, even the other 5 to 9s that you do, while maintaining a healthy relationship? I feel like you already kind of touched on it, but go ahead if you have any other things.
For sure. So back to that strategic plan.
Yeah.
One big thing for me is mentorship.
Okay.
And I seek people out, men, women, colleagues, even folks younger than myself, that I want to emulate something, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm big on, I want to always give myself the opportunity to say no.
Okay.
With that being said, I want access to the doors that I want access to. So if I want to be partner at BCG, if I want to be the next senior vice president at Google, how do I get there?
Right.
So those have been some of my North Stars, and I've gained some prominent mentors, fortunately, just being authentic and genuine, and saying, hey, I want to be like you in this way. From that, you form these organic relationships, right? Mm-hmm. And you're just tapping in with them regularly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, and say, hey, how are you? How's the family? You make that personal connection, not necessarily looking for any one thing, but because of that, it's really helped me refine and build my strategic plan. Where it's like, okay, if I want to be a tech exec, I might not need an MBA.
Right.
But if I want to be partner at BCG, I'll need the MBA. Mm-hmm. If I want to get an MBA, these are ways that I can pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? One of my boys, he just made partner at BCG down here.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
He was like, if you want to come over, just get an MBA.
Oh, wow.
And there's different levels too, right?
Yeah.
You got to have the top 25, top 20 MBA.
Yeah.
You can't just
go to anywhere.
But
make it harder for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not part of my strategic plan. Right. So it helps me say, with these North Stars, help me say yes or no to opportunities.
I like that.
And each step of the way, I'm sharpening and building my tool belt.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I got the cloud technical stuff down. Let me get the sales. Or let me get the relationship management. Let me get the P&L management. Where it's like, okay, if I want to hire somebody to join my team, what is the impact? What is that cost of customer acquisition? So I'm learning all these things in each new role, each new opportunity. And that's largely because of the discussions I have with my mentorships and my strategic plan.
I love that.
That's the professional bit.
Yeah.
Community bit is similar. Mm-hmm. And it's just trying to think through. I know I'm passionate about youth enablement, development, people of color. How do I amplify my strengths and really my impact and my level of influence? Mm-hmm. So it's one thing to be able to say, hey, you should take this certification, young girl, young boy, because you want to be this. It's another thing to say, all right, I'm about to write you a $25,000 check.
Amen.
So you can go to this boot camp or you can go to this, whatever, and you can really do a project. So I want to be able to scale my influence and impact beyond what I can just do individually.
I like that.
So really building community and culture.
God really has his hand on you, DJ, and I just feel like it's going to be made into fruition. And I just can't wait to see. I mean, you've already been doing the steps, like you said, the North Stars. I love that concept. I'm actually going to steal that from you because I think that's really beautiful. Because I feel like life can get so complex if you're like, oh, I want, we're very in this generation, gotta have this instant gratification. Yes. And I fall short in that because I start to like overthink. I put so much pressure on myself. There's a meme or something real saying like, you're stressed and worried out because you're trying to, God's not, because it's in his timing. And I was like, okay, you're right. Let me just, stressed, right. But I can now rest in something higher, bigger than me. And that has been all the difference. Seriously. Yeah. Oh man, it's peace that surpasses all understanding. And I'll share that story next week on another episode about that. But no, seriously. So I think that's beautiful. And I'm just so happy to witness. Okay. Okay. So as we wind down this episode, I asked all my amazing guest stars these questions about adulting. What is your most cringiest adulting moment that you don't mind sharing?
Right.
Yeah. Like, so this is recorded.
Right. I had some time. Mama know I've been in the street.
Right. She might see this. No, I'm kidding.
One thing I'll share is trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Okay.
In terms of spending too much money on things that really don't serve you.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, you see on IG, people traveling.
Yeah.
Going to the fancy restaurants, going to the brunches.
Yeah.
And at one point in my life, I really felt like, man, I need to be each and everywhere. I need to spend this type of money.
Yeah.
For birthdays, I would, go into debt.
Oh, yeah.
Just to have that experience for my people. Had some great time, right? But looking back, I could have made some smarter financial decisions. Where I look back, I'm like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It is a little bit. I mean, as a financial educator, I'm like,
it's not part of my long-term strategy.
Right.
I took some steps back.
Right, when you do those things.
In that regard. So that's what I think cringe. And part of that keeping up with the Joneses as well is I don't have to be at every event.
Oh, that's say it again for the people in the back.
Goes to a lot of events,
same, right? Okay? You talking to me. Sit down, okay?
You don't have to be at every single one. So
it's okay to say no.
Right. I'm very intentional now with my time.
Yeah.
Like, for example, last night or Thursday, it was a Herrador event.
Oh my God, I was there.
You were there. Okay.
I was trying to get
which is fine. Which is cool. For me, some of my folks were like, come on, D, you already got the RSVP. I know it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, is this really going to serve me tonight?
Right.
I just got back from Dubai, so
I'm
still a little jet lag.
Right, I bet, yeah.
I love Herrador like everybody else. But I'm like, last night, at fellas night, I knew that was coming up. I knew about
the next day. Yeah. I
said it's okay to just go. I went to bed 9:30.
Woke up.
It was beautiful.
You didn't miss much because if you was in that event, you would know. They literally reached over capacity because the way they had it set up, there was no confirmation. I'm sure you heard about it.
Yeah.
So we ended up at Rocksteady. Like, it was just like, what the heck? So you really made a sound decision without even knowing what you're doing. But that was mature. You know, that made sense. And I'm so proud of you because I wish I did too. But we're in different places. Like, I'm like fun employee right now. So I'm like, right. But, when you have responsibilities, you have to because I don't know how you're going to make that 5 a.m., 6 a.m. session if you're going to be doing that.
Exactly. But on the flip side of that, I will say I've met some of the dopest people out and about.
Of course.
Just randomly going to events.
That's true.
So people ask me, like, I post on my story, how are you turning up, going to church, and then you talk to the youth? I'm like, it's all part of it.
Yeah.
Where you just never know what conversation you'll have.
Yeah.
What people you'll meet. And I met some of my really good friends personally and business relationships just by buying some shots with somebody.
Wow.
So I really do value popping out
right
and just experiencing people in different lenses.
I love that. And I agree with that. And I think there's a balance with all of it. Like, not too much on everything, right? Too much of anything is not going to be beneficial. But I agree. And that's what I say. It's funny because I'm like, yes, we say like you be in the street now. I don't know on that side. But like more so like socials, like mixy wise in that regard and the highlight, positive light. I've seen you out and I'm like, dang it, how do you do it? That's what I was saying. Like I'm in the gym, like I'm dying and I didn't go out. But you was. And how are you here? And I think it comes a little bit to discipline, but also what you say, your North Stars and what your big thing is. And when you have that, you actually have more direction and you have guidance and clarity of like, this is what I'm doing.
Then you're at peace with it. I'm
like,
I took those shots, but I'm trying to be that guy in Atlanta.
Yeah.
People see me now.
Yeah.
Hey, the brand is there.
That's true.
It's all purposeful.
That is so real. I like that. Oh, I'm gonna pick your brain some more off camera. Okay, cool. Okay, so last but not least, what is the best adulting advice you've ever received that you wouldn't mind sharing with the audience?
Man, the best. I was thinking about this one. It's so many, so many things.
If you want more than one, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's your show, DJ.
I'll go back to what I said at the beginning.
Okay.
I think it's important. Start with self.
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
I think in anything, whether it's professionally, personally, start with self. We always hear that analogy of you get on the airplane, it goes down, put your mask on first. It's so important in terms of not burning out, moving with intention, and being the person that you said you would be.
Amen. Yeah.
When you start with self, you have that anchor, you have that grounding. Okay, this is who I am. This is why I'm doing things. So I do a lot, but I can always go back and say, oh, I went there because, or I did that because. And start with self. Can't go wrong. Be authentic. That's another big one that a lot of my mentors, they express and they feel. People can sniff out bullshit, right? So the more genuine and authentic we are, even if we make mistakes, which we will.
No, it's perfect.
We can move
through it.
We can move through it.
I so agree because I definitely. Yeah, let me just wrap that up for you on that one. Yeah, I think that's beautiful. No, I didn't want to take away from your moment. Did you want to say anything else?
That's perfect.
Okay. I love that advice because I think it's so true. I'm also a financial educator, obviously, if you know. And so one thing that I pride myself is like trying to be as transparent as possible. Of course, like protecting my security and, all that great stuff too. But like one thing a lot of my clients always say, and I'm grateful for, is that they appreciate my authenticity. We're talking about something that's so sensitive, like finances. And I think that's what's done me well in my business. You know, people are like, oh, how do you... I'm not the millionaire yet, obviously, so obviously, if you're like, oh, well, show me your account. There's got some money in it, but not like millions yet, but the authenticity sells. Right. And that's why people come to me or refer to me like, oh, because she was really open about this, Exactly. And I'm like, yeah, because that's just real. Like keeping with the Jones is real. Like, for me, if people know, I love my birthdays. Like okay. There is no doesn't exist, okay? And as a single woman, I fund all of it. I'm going to do it. So I chill out all year. I go to things this way, but like, if someone says it's $3,000 for a VIP deck in a caravan, I'm going to get it. You know what I'm saying? And we're doing it. Like, I don't care. So that's my thing. But like, I prepare all year for this day, you know what I mean? Or experience, excuse me. So I agree with that. Like, it's just like balance. So I love that you said that because that definitely sells. And when I don't hit the mark, I can be authentic about it. And they're like, you know what? You've shown yourself that you've been trusted. Right. So it's okay to do this, especially when you're dealing with people's finances. That's serious.
It's very serious.
I don't play with people like that.
It's very serious.
Because,
Another thing you just sparked in me.
Yeah.
This life is short.
Oh, yeah.
And with that being said, choose your investments.
Yeah.
And for me, it's investing in experiences. So
similar
to yourself.
Yeah.
I go on a good bit of trips.
Yeah, I see.
And people are like, how you doing this? Don't you work? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to live. That's a full life to me.
Me too, yeah. Love it.
Right? Some people, it's raising kids, which I want to do in another phase of my life. But right now, I'm like, let me see how they living in Dubai. Let me just try to experience.
Yeah.
And it might not be the best financial decision at that time. But it's that balance to your point where it's like, okay, I'm not about to break the bank or go that, but at the same time, I'm gonna spend $500 on the brunch in Dubai for the Michelin star.
Yes, are you kidding? Because that's an experience, and now you can talk on it. You know what I mean? Exactly. I love that, and I think our life, like you said, is so short. When we think about when you're flashing, like there's a show that says like you have that moment where your life is flashing before your eyes. Experiences come up first, or like your feelings. I hope those experiences I had really do come up because then I think I'll rest peacefully if that happens,
We will.
Yeah.
That brings up one other tool that I use, a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Oh, yeah. Great book. Oh, yeah. You should say some book recommendations if you want.
But there's an exercise in there where it says, talk about your funeral and visualize it in the sense of, okay, there's 4 groups of people talking. You have your family, you have your friends, your colleagues, coworkers, and then you have like your community, whether it's your church, community service, some leaders. What do you write down? What you want them to say at your funeral? Most people don't say DJ was wealthy or he was flashy, whatever. It's like he was kind, he was genuine, he was intentional. These are the things you write down are your true values.
Wow.
So you talk about that internal work and your North Stars. I always go back to, okay, what type of man do I really want to be?
Yes, the legacy.
Be the flashy dude, or do I want to be, he lived life, he helped people on.
And I want you to know, I think from just on this side as a friend, looking at, I think you were well on your way with that. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have.
Yeah.
This was really a great episode. I hope you
It's dope.
Yeah, I feel this way.
Thanks for having me, seriously.
Of course. You got to come back. So please let us know how we can support you, how we can find you, or anything like that, because obviously you're a really big people person that way.
Yeah.
Drop all that. This will also be on the video, so you'll see it there too. But
perfect. Yeah. We can connect on LinkedIn for some business at DJ Lewis. IG if you want to see some clips, some church, some turning up, some gym at the DJ Lewis. And please hit me up. Let's mix, let's mingle, let's live full life.
I love that. Well, you guys heard it here first. Okay, thank you so much for coming on, DJ. And of course, and thank you for tuning into another episode of Adulting's Ghetto.
Hey you, welcome to Adulting's Ghetto. We all know adulting is truly overrated, so what better way to survive this ratchet place than coming together to share our stories and words of wisdom with one another. Join us as we discuss all things adulting from the following aspects of adulthood: finances, relationships, spirituality, and even health. This podcast is a great source to get all tips and tricks as you manage to survive adulting. After all, we already know adulting is truly ghetto.